Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel, and this is my review of Horizon Zero Dawn in 2021. Because I didn't play this game before 2020, because of course it came out on PC in 2020 and I didn't have a console. And well, even after that, even after I started playing the game, it took me a long time to actually finish the game because of the various technical issues that were present in the PC port. Now, you might have seen that I didn't put out most of the videos on my channel because they weren't doing great, and honestly, I was a bit frustrated with the game. I did live stream it a bit, but that was it really. But I did enjoy the game a lot. And as usual, my review will be divided into three categories. And the final score will be a combination of all three. So the first category, since this is a single player game, the three categories will be story, lore, and characters. That's just one category. The second is gameplay, and the third is world and overall presentation. Now, I also have to talk about the disastrous launch on PC, so it won't really be a category of its own, but I will talk about it. But before I go any further with this, if you like the content, then press that like button. Well, I am at 189, and well, I would like to get to 200 before the beginning of October. So help me get there. Like this video if you like it, and let's get on with it. Now, as far as the first category goes, which is the story, lore, and characters, in my opinion, Horizon Zero Dawn has an awesome story. Now, it is a well-built lore surrounding said story. The one department it kind of lags behind is its characters, in my personal opinion. But let's focus on the positives first. The story is being told from the perspective of our protagonist, which is Aloy, who is looking for the person who gave birth to her, because in the beginning of the story she doesn't know. And well, that kind of drives the whole game. This is the primary motivation that she has throughout the story of Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, there are times in the story where she's learning some really life-altering things and she's still worried about that. And to be fair, even the characters in the game, even they call her out on that. Like, seriously, is that what you're thinking about right now after all the craziness that you're discovering right now? So yeah, it is acknowledged in the story, and that does, I guess, elevate it a bit. But I still felt weird that was her motivation, even though, like, really at this point, when you're discovering something of such huge scale and magnitude, really those things really shouldn't matter anymore. But even then, I feel like the story is well written, well paced. Like, at no point do I think like the story is really slowing down, or like it's going really fast and I can't really understand what's going on. So the pacing, in my opinion, is really good, and apparently that's too much to expect from a game nowadays. Now with every fucking game under the sun becoming an RPG. Yes, I am looking at you, Assassin's Creed. Now, one thing I would say though is that I found the ending of Horizon Zero Dawn a bit lackluster. Now, of course, there is a twist in the end, which, yes, it did redeem the game a little bit for me. But in general, I kind of missed the sense of discovery that this game had for the most part. Like, when we are going through the story, almost from beginning to like almost 1 hour before the ending, we are always discovering something new. We are trying to, make sense of the world we are in. We are trying to understand why this world is. And right before the ending, when we know everything, suddenly this comes down to kill this entity and save the world. And yes, I understand why they did that. I understand that it's part of the story that, Aloy is finally that hero who is going to save the day. But I just feel like they should have done something more with that. But that's just me again. But there is a twist in the end, so I'm not going to spoil that, but there is there. Now, moving on to the lore part of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I would say this, the lore of Horizon Zero Dawn is something else. Now, our protagonist is learning about the ones who came before, the ones who were technologically superior. Well, not really superior because, I guess they did create the robots that, murdered everything. And they did create the program that actually, made Zero Dawn. So yeah, they were technologically superior. There is always a mystery to this world, and it balances the science fiction elements with arguably the more fantasy elements, and it balances that in a way that I have rarely seen before. Like, it walks that line really well. Now, the world that they have set up for this game and for the games that might come in the future, one is already coming in Horizon Forbidden West, The world itself is something truly special, and I cannot wait to see what they actually do with the story and with the world building once the game comes to PC like 5 years later. So maybe 2026, I don't know, 2026, 2027, maybe that's when I'll play Horizon Forbidden West. As far as the characters go, though, I mentioned before that the characters are really the one department where the game kind of lags behind, and I did honestly find many memorable characters. Now, Aloy herself is a very memorable character, but other than that, I didn't really find any relatable characters. Like, yeah, there are some characters who are just plain evil. Like, yeah, I'm the bad guy, I'm evil. Like, I don't like that archetype. It's not just about this game. It's not just it's not just about any other game. I need the people that are in the world to make sense in the world. Like, no one in our world is evil for just the sake of being evil, right? That's how what makes the characters relatable. Like, if we look at our own world and we look at the monsters of our own world, sometimes you can kind of see where they're coming from. You don't agree with them, obviously, because they're genocidal maniacs, but you can see their perspective, and that just grounds them more. That's what makes those monsters more terrifying. And so yeah, I found that the dinosaurs in this game had more characters than the human characters. So yeah. In terms of overall score though, I guess I will give it a 8 out of 10 because the story is solid for the most part, except for the ending, and the world building is really good. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Now we move on to the gameplay section. And I would like to start this section with 3 words. Robot fucking dinosaurs. If that didn't get your attention, maybe this game is not for you. And if that makes you think that this is extremely cool, congratulations, you are a normal person. You are not a weirdo. The combat of Horizon Zero Dawn is something you have to experience for yourself. I honestly cannot put it in words. Honestly, but just watching it on the screen doesn't do it justice. Though to be fair, the combat that you're watching on the screen right now is like garbage tier gameplay because I am not very good. But yeah, the dinosaur combat especially, like, it's so good. It really allows you to sort of, look at the problem that is in front of you. The problem being a huge mechanical robotic dinosaur. Now, when you look at that problem, there are different solutions to that problem. You have different tools that will help you to solve that problem. Once you solve that problem, it feels really good. So yeah, there are weaknesses you can exploit. There are strengths of those machines that they can exploit. There are weak points that you can hit. You can specifically take apart their armor. You can take out their cannons if it's an option. And you can hit them with their own cannons doing a large amount of damage. This is honestly one of the most engaging gameplay systems I have seen in quite a while. But there are negatives as well. As good as the dinosaur hunting is in the game, the human enemy combat just straight up sucks. Now it's very unbalanced and it kind of feels like a lazy add-on rather than a proper feature. Like sometimes headshots just don't work, sometimes they work. It's just very inconsistent, and even the damage that the enemy archers are doing on you, even that is inconsistent. So yeah, I really hope that is something they are going to improve in Forbidden West because I really did not like the human enemy interactions in this game. Like it was just get a shock arrow, shoot the guy with shock arrow and try to do a crit damage, do it twice and the guy will die. It's just not that fun. Now the progression system in this game is fairly simple. You get XP for killing machines, doing quests, doing literally everything in the world. You level up, you get new skill points and you put them in skill nodes. It's a very rudimentary system, and honestly, considering that this game is an RPG, it's kind of a limiting factor, I would say. It's not really that good. Like it should have been better. Like they could have done a lot of things with this sort of a system. Like think of Skyrim, for example, right? That has a really good skill system. That has like so many different ways to invest your skill points. Like yes, it's not perfect, but whenever I think of a skill system, I immediately think of Skyrim. That's just where my mind goes. Like it's a really good skill tree, especially at least for me. But overall, all things considered, the dinosaur combat alone would merit a score of like 10 on 10. But I have to consider the fact that there is the human combat, which kind of sucks, and also the progression system is kind of rudimentary. So, all that considered, I guess in this category, I will give it a 7 out of 10. Now we move on to world and overall presentation. Now, the world of Horizon Zero Dawn is beautiful. It is truly stunning. Now, it's perhaps not as good looking as the PC hardware that it demands, but nevertheless, the art direction itself, the way the bushes look, the way the world looks in general, it is impressive. And the world is big, but it's not too big. It's not overly bloated with content, which you are never going to do. It's not an endless stretch of nothingness where you can go minutes on end without encountering literally anything. Like, this game demands your attention at every turn. It's not just like you are on your mount and you're just going from point A to point B and you're just looking at the vistas and all that. So in that way, I would say this is a much better system than something like Red Dead Redemption 2 or the modern Assassin's Creed games. Because due to those dinosaurs being in the world, and as I've said, due to that being extremely satisfying, sometimes you just go off hunting dinosaurs, or maybe you are paying attention because there is one big, huge dinosaur that you don't want to fight and you want to go around it, and you need to find a way to go around it. So there are different things that make the exploration in this game really cool. There are things to discover, there are cauldrons to do, there are many objectives. Yes, it does have the Ubisoft climbable towers, but we have to consider the fact that this game came out, 2017? It was pretty common back then. Now, yes, it's that system has gone away nowadays, and thankfully so, I guess. But it was still in this game, and honestly, I didn't mind it. It was kind of a cool throwback to the older times where, we used to have these towers that we need to climb to sort of get like information about the map. So yeah, it's cool. But as impressive as the world is, I would be lying if I said that there aren't any issues with this game. Most cutscenes in this game have preset animations, and they don't look good. Hell, you don't necessarily even need to play as Aloy for the cutscene to work. Like, for example, there is a mod on PC called, I think, Aloy's Adjustments, where you can essentially replace Aloy's character model with some other model that's in the game. And I did that, and the cutscene works just fine with the lip sync and everything. Now, lip sync is already very... but it works just fine. And that should tell you that it's like a completely automated system with no touches from the actual devs. Like, even if there are some touches, I don't know, like, it works just fine with the other character models as well. But that is how it is, because if I hadn't been invested in the story as much as I was, I probably would have rated this game lower because of the cutscenes, because it honestly was not good. So, all things considered, in this category, I would give it a 6 out of 10 because, yeah, the world was great, but the presentation of the cutscenes really took away from my enjoyment of this game. And I really hope that they can do better in the future. And now, as I said, I need to talk about the disastrous state of the port when the game released on PC. Now, there are two things that I'm going to talk about right now. One, the game looks stunning. The game looks really good. But I do not think that the way this game looks justifies the hit that it takes on the hardware on a PC. I really think that they did not optimize this game properly for PC. They were just working on it, and then the pandemic hit. They just didn't bother to, finish working on this game. And that was very evident from the fact that when this game launched, it was literally unplayable. Like, when this game launched, this was August 21, 2020. That was the last video that I made about Horizon Zero Dawn. And that was about how horribly broken this game's port is. Like, honestly, this game was Arkham Knight levels of bad. Like, this game was worse than games like Assassin's Creed Unity on PC. Yes, the faces didn't disappear, but it was crashing every 5 minutes. Some people couldn't even start playing the game because it crashed on the main menu. Some people couldn't even get to the main menu because it crashed before that. So it was a very, very bad situation for this game. Like the initial optimization process that they had before the game even booted up, it was regularly crashing PCs. And due to all of these things, due to all of the things that I just mentioned, because of the crashing issues, because of the optimization issues, this game was very much unplayable for the most part. Like right now, what you're seeing on my screen, it is gameplay after almost 8-9 months after the game was out. Like the gameplay that you're seeing on my screen right now is from April 3rd, 2021. So that was months after the launch, where it was finally stable enough for me to actually bother playing this game. So yeah, it took them a long time to actually fix this game, and one of the reasons why my review is so late is because of that. Now, of course, after my review was done, I had some work to do, and well, I got delayed because of that. So yeah, that was a really limiting factor for me, at least. Like that really pissed me off, and you can see that if you go back into my videos and watch those videos. Like, I was not very happy. So to sum up this game, like, you know what, ignoring the issues for now, Horizon Zero Dawn truly is a great game. Like, it's a game from 2017. I didn't expect it to hold up as well as it did. And honestly, there is no doubt in my mind regarding how great this game is. There are very few games that I've played over the last maybe 5 years where I have been looking at a game, where I played a game and I was genuinely excited for what is to come next. Like, there are very few games that I can say that I was really excited about what's going to happen next. But I am excited for this one. Now, as I said, I probably won't be able to play Horizon Forbidden West, but what can we do? But in the end though, it is held back by its rudimentary RPG systems, the absolute horrible launch on PC, and it also soured my mood with its cutscene presentation. And all of that result in me giving a score of 6 out of 10 for this game. Now, the score was actually a 7 out of 10 if we take the average of these 3 categories, but I deducted that 1 marks because of the disastrous launch on PC. Like, this is not acceptable. This is never acceptable. Like, you cannot launch a game in a state like this. When I am paying you money, I expect that game to work. And the game did not work. Well, that's the end of the review. Honestly, I do think this is a good game. And don't look at that score of a 6 out of 10 and think that, hey, this is an average game. No, a 6 out of 10 in my books is a good game. Because I usually am kind of stingy about giving ratings to the games, because you never know when a game is going to come out and just absolutely blow you away, right? You want to keep that gap at the top where you can place other games that you really love. So yeah, I really like this game. It has its own issues. I am sure they will fix it in the sequels. I hope they will fix it in the sequels. So yeah, hopefully this franchise can become a legendary franchise in the future. Now, moving on from that, if you did like this video, then consider pressing that like button and do subscribe to my channel for more content, because I do put out more content on the channel. And well, once again, I thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. I hit 189 subscribers. And well, the last time I uploaded a video, the intro, when I was recording the intro for that, I said like, yeah, I have 183. And then before I even uploaded that video, I was up to 187. So the growth right now is very good, and I really hope that this continues. I really thank you guys for the support you have given me, and let's get to 200. So yeah, all that said though, I will leave you guys in peace.